Speaking of Gemini Home Entertainment, our first video follows the same format. Nothing more than an innocent hiking safety video from our friends at White Stag Education. A video that, in simple terms, is to keep us all safe while hiking out in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. But what exactly are they keeping us safe from? The video begins with a small introductory paragraph about keeping us safe while exploring the Pine Barrens. Then moves into an acronym for the word safe. S, starting off as stick to the trails. This section of the video educates the viewer by instructing them to stay on the marked path and to follow the markings on the trees to ensure you're going in the right direction. The section ends by telling the viewer to not follow unmarked or suspiciously marked trails, or you will not return. Back to the SAFE acronym. The A stands for Acquire Equipment. In this section, the video talks about the importance of being prepared with the right gear to go hiking in the woods, showing off a checklist of the right hiker's equipment. Back to the acronym. The next letter is F, and this stands for Fear the Forest. Before cutting to a truly haunting statement. The masked people have lived in the Pine Barrens for hundreds of years. An unholy entity holds dominion over the woods. Quickly cutting to someone holding a camera in the dark forest. Cutting back to the acronym, E is the final letter, and it stands for Evacuate. Cutting to the same camera person from earlier, running through the woods. Whistling can be heard from every direction until Pine Barrens hiking safety gives me that eerie feeling to be outside and alone in the woods. Something about it makes me feel so vulnerable. Like any second I could take a wrong turn and be in a completely different area, overrun by something. In the same vein as Gemini Home Entertainment, I think that White Stag Education has a lot of potential with his analog horror series, and the link for the channel will be in the description down below. You didn't think that you could get away from Skinamarink and Heck that easy, did you? We're venturing back into Bite-Sized Nightmares, Kyle Edward Ball's YouTube channel. In the video explaining Heck, I discussed how Kyle has been making nightmare-style content for a while, before making Skinamarink and Heck. Bite-Sized Nightmares is a channel dedicated to nightmare videos, accurately simulating nightmares that his subscribers have described in great detail for Kyle to film and produce in video form. Although at some point I do want to come back to deep dive into Kyle's content, today we are going to talk about the 30th entry in the Nightmare series, titled Flicker. Unlike the other entries in this video, I would really like to talk about this one the least. Kyle's videos are this amalgamation of tense atmosphere and raw, visceral nightmare fuel that creates this uneasy feeling that could sit with you for weeks. I would not be doing it justice if I spoke beat for beat, but I will go into the broad nature of the video, and I will also talk about my favorite bits. The nightmare was simply about a child that woke up in the middle of the night and saw that the TV was on in the living room. When he goes to shut it off, the television turns on by itself. Once they return to the living room, they see this. Returning back to his room, the child then encounters a blurry figure jump scare that I will graciously save you from. I can't imagine having a nightmare replayed like this on YouTube. A terrifying horror that sticks with you that bad is a horror I never want to experience. Especially something so intimate, like dreaming. Although I didn't speak about it in length, I do implore you that I cannot convey the tense atmosphere of the nightmare through video form without blatantly playing the whole video. So please, support Kyle's work by heading over to his channel and watching his videos in full, the way he intended. On to the next one. For this next one, I do have to warn you. This next video depicts graphic imagery and violence. Although none of it is real, it does still carry the same weight. So please, if you are easily disturbed by fictional death and violence, save yourself the watch. Now that you've been warned, let's venture on. I recently discovered this amazing analog horror for our last video today, and I'll have to admit, it's given me an interesting, unnerving vibe. Although this analog horror is far from small, it's still relatively new, and is innovating the genre online. This is Faces. Faces is the first entry in the UrbanSpook's analog series. It depicts a lot of its horror through graphic imagery and text-on-screen storytelling. Faces is a VHS tape that has been converted to digital after the owner of the channel found the tapes in his basement. The contents of the tape is as follows. Text appears on screen that says that police found 3 paintings stored away in an abandoned storage area. They were each titled after recent murders. Then talks about the victims and the trauma they suffered. Carla Gray had 36 stab wounds to the face, and all of her teeth were missing. The first painting being titled Carla's Teeth before showing the painting. Another victim, Jackie Graham, was stabbed and drowned. The painting titled Floating Jackie. The last victim, James Miller, had his face torn off completely and was alive for several days without it. His painting titled James' Secret Face. Two months later, more paintings were discovered, however not related to any missing persons cases just yet. By the end of the video, the police also find a painting titled Self-Portrait, and it looks like this. I know to some that analog horror showing very little can be aggravating or a waste of time, but I truly believe that this is one of the most interesting analog horrors that I've seen. It keeps the same unnerving tone, while also making a sort of Seven-style murder mystery plot. And not to mention those images. The art in this is beyond fantastic, mixed with the absolutely brutal and evil nature of how this painting killer operates. This is an absolute gem. Hopefully down the line, once more videos are uploaded, I can do a deep dive explaining the full story. As for now, the channel only has 4 videos uploaded, and I'm content putting it in the 3 Scary Videos trophy room. So first off, this series has 5 videos currently. I expect UrbanSpook to continue with this series, so I'll probably talk about the series once more videos have been uploaded. The series is told through text-on-screen storytelling, through the point of view of the police, who arrive on the scene after brutal murder has been taken place. The story continues from scene to scene, discovering more and more about this killer's style and creative nature about his despicable acts. The killer is known for painting his victims on canvas and leaving them as little breadcrumbs at the crime scene. Faces is the first in the series and focuses on the police finding 3 paintings stored away in a storage area, all titled after recent murders: Carla Gray, Jackie Graham, and James Miller, all victims of absolutely brutal and horrific murders. 2 months after finding these paintings, there were more discovered, but they were not in connection to any of the murders at the time. Some of the paintings we will discover come into play later on in the series. After going public with the case, the police received 3 more photos in the mail, also titled exactly like the paintings. 2 of the pictures depict the victims from the first findings, James Miller and Jackie Graham, but the 3rd image is titled Jimmy. The video ends with a number to call if you have any information of the case, and states that they found another painting 2 days ago titled Self-Portrait, which seems to be the killer. Video 2 starts with the acknowledgement of the disappearance of Bill Collins and his family. Bill was the police officer who discovered the self-portrait painting. While searching Bill's house, the police discovered one of Bill's daughters, 2-month-old, deceased in the attic. The Collins family vehicle was found 12 days later on a beach near the ocean. Honestly, to show how absolutely brutal this killer is, in the car was a painting titled Long-Necked Angel, depicting the 2-month-old daughter of Bill. This killer is disgustingly ruthless. This led the search to a nearby lighthouse. The police go in and find the charred remains of Daniel Williams. We can assume this is the same Daniel depicted in one of the many paintings police found in the first video, Daniel after the fire. Police venture down to some tunnels underneath the lighthouse, and they discover 2 more corpses, Jennifer and her daughter, Lisa White. We can assume Lisa White's painting is the one titled Lisa's Secret Face, and her mother's would be Jennifer's Last Stare, 2 paintings from the first video. Police find a barrel containing the remainder of Collins' family, including photos of their last moments, and then a final unknown photo, perhaps another selfie of the brutal killer. I don't want to spend too much time on this one because it deals with some disturbing things along with children. I understand that it's part of the story, and although I understand it from the story perspective, showing how ruthless this murderer can be, I don't feel comfortable talking about it entirely. To summarize, police find the combined corpse of 2 siblings, 11-year-old Corey and Margaret. Corey being a painting in the first video. The other parts of the bodies have yet to be found. A week before his disappearance, Corey's friends dared him to spend an hour in a remote cabin near the lake. Corey went inside with a camera, but only spent 4 minutes inside. When police go to the cabin to search, they find the camera in the walls, finding pictures Corey had taken before running out of the cabin that night. One of the last pictures is a face that they think has something to do with Corey's disappearance. Could also be another image of the murderer. A new private investigator named Sean Kane, who has been helping police locate the victims connected to the paintings, has now gone missing. The last body he found before his disappearance was the body of Tom Harris. Harris's body was found encased in a large pile of wax in the living room, dying from suffocation. Tom Harris's painting was also depicted in the first video. Police add that some of Tom's extremities had been detached from his body, including a 3rd arm found in the wax, not knowing who it may belong to. A week after Tom's body was found, investigator Sean went missing from his home. When police were notified and arrived on scene, what they found inside was a horrific scene. Sean's dog suffered from gruesome injuries, blood trails from the bedroom to the kitchen, and a number 2 written in Sean's own blood on a door frame. Police saying it has to be Sean, who deliberately did it to leave a clue for the police. Moving into the bedroom, finding a painting that matched the look of Sean, titled The Man in the Pipes. Police found security footage that was destroyed, but still managed to catch a glimpse of the perpetrator. This is the most recent video uploaded on the channel, and it follows the missing persons case of Tina Rosenberg, her boyfriend Jack, and her younger sister Flora. They were all taking a road trip for Tina's 20th birthday. Jack's car was found in the woods just a day after being reported missing. While searching around, the police heard screaming deeper in the woods. Tina was found tied to a tree, with her limbs cut off. She was alive and conscious. Police also found the body of Flora. After police helped Tina from the scene, they discovered a painting placed in Jack's car, one that wasn't there before. The painting was titled Long Jack. Jack's body still has not been found. Tina, who survived, was later questioned by the police and tells the story of what happened that night. She had awoken in the car, Jack was gone, and she could hear someone getting closer. She says the next thing she remembers, she was tied to that tree and had been injected with something. She could hear whispering and her sister screaming. The video ends with a police sketch from Tina's description. On January 15th of 2009, a small YouTube channel uploaded a video. A video that helped push and innovate horror on the internet for generations. The video is titled No Through Road and completely goes viral. In the same vein as the Blair Witch Project, the description reads, on December 17th, 2008, 4 17-year-old boys were found dead in their car at an abandoned farm, 10 miles from their hometown. This video contains the unedited footage from the camera belonging to one of the boys also found in the car. If you have any information regarding the footage, please contact us at the website given at the end of the video. If you have never experienced this horror gem, please do yourself a favor and watch it before I go in depth here today. This video is an absolute masterpiece, and I do not want to spoil your first time seeing this on my video. So please, the link will be down in the description, or just search it and watch before watching my video further. Now that you've been warned, let's dive into No Through Road. The video begins with a brief introduction of what the film is. We get a glimpse of an intelligence symbol that we can only assume might be the authorities in possession of the following footage. We then see the text explaining what we are about to see. On December 15th, 2008, 4 17-year-old boys from Stevenage, Hertfordshire, England, were reported missing by their families. On December 17th, their bodies were found at Broomhall Farm, 10 miles outside of Stevenage, in the car that they had been driving. The residence was thought to have been abandoned, but upon investigation, police officers found signs of inhabitants. The following video is unedited footage from the digital camcorder found in the car. This has been released with the family's consent in hope to aid the investigation. Setting a legitimate atmosphere right off the bat. Seeing any kind of media with a warning or explanation of what you are about to see has always creeped me out. It's a great way to build what I'm about to watch as serious and real. And believe me, this video was art at being taken seriously at the time. We are then greeted to what seems to be a fairly normal home movie. Kids driving around at night, just hanging out.
We're doing this. Me and Ollie have got work at 8 in the morning, but we're driving about in his car because we're absolute twats.
Does that light make a difference?
Have you seen it on Mock the Week? Famous last words. Stingrays love foreplay.
The interaction here seems very authentic. The atmosphere feels exactly as it should. 17-year-olds messing around, filming each other. That's basically what the 17-year-olds did in 2008. The boys drive up to a dark bridge with a sign that says No Through Road. As they continue to joke, they drive through but are discouraged to keep going due to it being a private drive and the car's gas tank being half full.
It gives me the shit so badly.
I don't think we should be here. It's like a private road or something.
Okay, so I better clutch down and roll backwards.
It's nearly half full, we need to get home.
As they drive away, like typical teenage kids, the driver teases the rest of his friends by blinking the headlights off and on. They come across an intersection to turn either left or right. Left for Bennington, or right for Wadden. One of the teenagers remarks,
That is no... I don't even know where that is. That's nowhere near us.
The boys come to the conclusion that they are actually lost. Still joking, but they appear to be a little scared, trying to calm their nerves.
Someone tell me a joke to cheer me up.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I don't know, I'm really lost. We are actually now lost.
We pulled over because we know where we are, and we've been driving down this road for about a fucking hour now.
James's GPS on his phone stopped working.
One of the boys, named Steve, gets out of the car to walk down the road to see if he can see anything. But he gets spooked by something and runs back to the car, instructing them to drive.
What the hell? What's up?
Stop being a prick, man.
This isn't funny.
Oh, there was someone, and he was like wearing some sort of mask.
Back in the car, he remarks that he saw something in the field, wearing some kind of mask. Driving along, they appear to pass the same sign from earlier. Confused, the boys take a second to think about how this could have happened.
We've been going in a straight line.
No, we haven't. It's been left. I swear. Absolutely swear.
We didn't take any turns.
No, it doesn't matter. The road is curved. Relax, man.
No, it's
Do you want to go to Bennington to prove it? Then go left.
Do we turn
not
around?
saying mad. It's like that's like you're fucking. What?
Why not?
Driving along yet again, the boys stumble across the same sign. Perplexed, they decide to take a different turn, this time towards Wadden. Finally, the boys start seeing streetlights, headlights, and they are heading in the right direction. Happily, joking, until the driver jokingly turns the headlights off again. And then this happens.
Stevenage. Welcome to Stevenage.
Wow.
Hey guys.
Stevenage.
I did last.
Turn the lights on.
What the fuck?
How did we get here? We were just on the phone.
Just reverse, Ollie. Reverse, go on.
What do we do?
It's not me. I can't.
Turn the bloody lights on. Holy fuck! What? No! Turn! What are you turning
They are somehow transported back to the road from earlier. And this time, they aren't alone. Stephen manages to get away, but the thing attacks him from behind, beating him with the camera until the film ends.
Please don't! No!
In March of 2022, I made a video reacting to some analog horror videos on YouTube. While searching through the subreddit r/analog horror, I discovered a damn near perfect video called Derrick County File. The video has now been renamed Cooper Family File, and is still the last thing to be uploaded on the channel. Very Mandela catalog, but I'm not going to hold that against them. That's a pretty creepy image. Cooper Family File is an analog horror video that revolves around the disappearance and subsequent deaths of the Coopers, following a lot of unexplained activity observed by their neighbor, Howard. In the beginning, we see a handheld recording of someone in the woods with their dog. We can see the date this footage was shot was on February 6th of 1992. After that, we see a dark cam footage outside of a house. Then a conversation between Howard and an investigator. The investigator inquires about Howard's life. Howard says that after his wife passed, he has been receiving lots of help from the Coopers on his farm.
Did you still receive help on the farm from any friends or relatives?
We then see dashcam footage of someone driving down a dark road. Cutting back to the first shot of the driveway at the beginning of the video. The truck then comes to a stop in the road due to some branches stacked together in a strange way. The driver, confused, gets out to move the branches, all while the radio starts glitching out. Once the branches fall, the radio goes silent, and the driver gets back in his truck. Back to the conversation, we hear that Howard's cattle has gone from 32 all the way down to just 8.
Howard, I'm trying to understand why you called the apartment in such a frantic state.
The investigator asking Howard if he thinks the Coopers had something to do with it. Howard said, no, it couldn't be them. Because I hadn't seen them until... I'm just gonna let this part play out for you to watch.
Until what? Howard, please speak up.
until I found their bones piled up on my doorstep. We see that an audio fluctuation has been recorded, then start to hear knocking. We then see a shot inside of a bedroom, someone flicking on and off a flashlight. Then right back to the first cam shot in front of the house. Only this time, we can see something across the road in the woods. A figure standing there. Zooming in, the figure starts to walk away. Cutting back to the dark bedroom from earlier, we see some movement towards the door in the distance. The first time I watched this part, I didn't even notice the most terrifying bit. If you look closely at the top of the door, you can see something otherworldly snap up through the door. We then get an archived phone call between Donnie and Thomas Cooper. Thomas is looking for the family dog, Max, when he gets a call from his dad to come home.
You need to come home right now.
Well, I can't right now. I'm looking for Max. You not even care at all about the dog?
He'll find his way home on his own.
After bickering a bit, Donnie goes away from the phone for a second. Thomas, awaiting his dad to return, finds his dog Max. At least, he thinks he did.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay?
Max! Come here! Max?
Then greeted by a civil danger warning, warning us about an unidentified organism which shares many features with someone very familiar from the old tales of the internet.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Darragh County Police Department. Multiple sightings of an unidentified organism have been reported in the last 24 hours. The reports describe the creature to be approximately 8 feet tall with unusually long arms, no distinguishable facial features, and pale gray skin.
The video concludes with a home video of Thomas playing with his dog Max at home. This criminally underrated video has less than 1,000 views. This is by far one of the better analog horrors I've seen. At first, its resemblance to Mandela Catalog got me intrigued, and it delivered. Although I just gave you the cliff notes of the video, I advise you to go to the channel and share some love for this terrifying analog horror. I hope they continue the story as well. Unlike Cooper Family File, this next analog horror is simple, yet effective. If you've ever been afraid of unidentified flying objects in the sky, this one might be perfect for you. Imagine walking in the darkness, outside of your home, maybe along a desolate road, looking up to view the calming nature of the stars, only to find this. There is something so unsettling about this footage. After the footage, we get some context in the video. And it reads, after receiving an anonymous tip about the footage, the Federal Bureau searched the filmmaker's house and retrieved the camera. The filmmaker, Malachi, was very cooperative with our search and efforts and turned his footage over to the agents without resistance. He also provided agents with some information. Malachi called the object Ophanim and said it spoke to him in his head, giving him an important message to deliver that he remembers exactly. The contents of the message are as follows. Be not afraid. You have been chosen. A great war is running in the outer edges, and it has arrived at your doorstep. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance. I seek to help you. But be warned, others of my kind do not. You will be visited tonight by those who seek your knowledge. Give it to them. This is the first step. We will return to you. The Ophanim are a class of celestial beings in Judeo-Christian mythology that are known for their wisdom and thus are depicted as being angels of knowledge. Quiet, grainy footage of a UFO, the mysterious message of a great war, and the apocalyptic undertones of angels make this a well-done piece of horror media. They have more videos on their channel, and it will be linked down below. I look forward to seeing more. One of the most real and chilling events to occur in the past 40 years happened on November 22nd of 1987, when the television signals of 2 stations in Chicago, Illinois, were hijacked, briefly sending a pirate broadcast of an unidentified person wearing a Max Headroom mask and a costume to thousands of home viewers. This is simply known as the Max Headroom incident. Although the Max Headroom incident and our last video here are very different, in being the former is an actual event that took place, the latter still does a great job in capturing that same fear of an outside force hijacking your television screen. This is Daylight TV. Missing person. Hijacking. The video starts with the conclusion of the programming for that day, and quickly goes into the national anthem as some sort of sign-off. It's quickly interrupted by a missing person slideshow with calming music in the background. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid watching TV, seeing those missing persons photos with no noise or anything in the background, just the hum of the analog through the speakers, really freaked me out. After a while, we get to a young girl named Taya. Who was last seen near a sewer entrance with a group of friends. The scene glitches, and we can see the image of the girl being altered. Glitches again, and we can see physical trauma on the image of Taya, which quickly gets worse and worse, until this happens. The words "Big Strange Cave" appear on screen, followed by "Bottomless Pit." Do not go near, before quickly showing the words, "It will find you," then cutting off. Recorded Collections has only 2 videos in their catalog so far. Missing Persons being uploaded 1 year ago, and a new one being uploaded today while recording this video. The video follows the same format and is more closely resembling the Max Headroom incident. In the About section, their channel description reads, "A digital archive of everything television, 80s or 90s, 2000s to 2010s. We got it all." I look forward to seeing more of this in the future. And I really hope that all the creators of today's video continue their passion at making scary analog horror.